The listing presentation, the marketing plan, is single-handedly one of the most important parts, plays one of the biggest roles in your success in getting new listings. So present that marketing slide every single time. Now, real quick, part of landing the listing is handling a few objections. So what do we think those objections could be? Give me some objections. Commission. What else? Timing. What else? Doubting you, or they won't doubt you after you present, but they may doubt something else. The market. Say that again. Yep. Interviewing other agents. What else? Did my camera stop? Interviewing other agents. Yes. List price. Okay. Anything else? All right, I like that. We'll start with that. Okay, the most common objection you're going to get, the one that usually it will always boil down to, even if it starts somewhere else, it usually boils down to commission. You getting paid a commission. So the way we handle a commission objection is by getting the seller to change the way they think about the sale altogether. It's not about how much money we make as the salesperson. It's about how much money they will walk away with. Does that make sense to you guys? That is the reason why we bring the seller's net sheet with us to every listing appointment. Because we want to reframe them from thinking about, how much am I going to pay you? To, oh, here's how much I'll walk away with. That sounds good, right? Because that's what they're really concerned about, is how much will I walk away with. I will pay anybody here $1 million in commission if it means they get me $550,000 for my flip property in satellite. So have at it. Have at it. I don't care. As long as I walk away with $550, you guys can have however much you want. Commission usually boils down to getting them to reframe the way they think about it. It also gets them to reframe the way they think about the commitment. So they are thinking, I will have to pay you. That's not the truth, is it? That's not the truth. The truth is you are going to take the initial investment as a risk up front in marketing their home. That does not come out of their pocket up front. It comes out of your pocket. Every dollar that's spent on the photos, the virtual staging, the virtual tours, the marketing, the open houses, the showings, your time, your energy, all that comes out of your pocket and your schedule. So the only way, and this is how I phrase it to the seller, the only way you will pay me a commission, first of all, Mr. Seller, I'm going to take all the risk up front. You don't have to pay for anything up front. I'm going to make that investment in selling your home. And the only way that I will get paid, the only way you will owe me a commission is if I bring you an offer that has you walking away with what you want to walk away with. So I removed the risk for them, right? Now there's no risk. And one of the things that I add in there is I will never force you to accept an offer. If you don't get an offer that you don't like and we get 6 months down the road and I haven't sold your home, I'm out all that money I spent. I'll probably have spent thousands of dollars by that point. If I don't sell it, I lose that money. You don't lose that money. I lose that money and you won't owe me a commission because I wasn't successful in getting you what you wanted, what you told me you wanted. So we remove the risk, we reframe the way they think about it, and we say to them, so now that you understand that there's no upfront risk to you, and I only get paid if I'm successful in bringing you an offer that you want, and you told me you wanted $400,000, $500,000, $600,000, whatever it is. You told me you wanted to walk away with this number. If I can get you this, are you ready to get the process started by signing the paperwork today? You can cancel at any time. All I ever ask is to be made whole again. So if I spend $350 on photography and you let me do that and then you decide you want to cancel next week, I'll let you cancel, but I just want to be reimbursed for that $350. That's it. If you decide, you don't want to sell the house, but you're willing to let me keep the listing through the whole time and let me show it, and if I get you an offer, still move forward, and I don't sell it, then you don't owe me anything. You don't owe me for photography, you don't owe me for marketing, you don't owe me for the open houses, you don't owe me for the money I put behind it on social media. I only get paid, you only pay me if I'm successful in bringing you an offer that you like. Do we understand that? We're reframing the way they think about the commission by getting them to think about what they'll walk away with. It's that simple. You also will use the commitment part to help get them to make that decision right away. Because there's an idea that if a decision is easily reversible and easy to make, you should make the decision fast. Everybody understands that concept? If a decision is easy to make, like I can do it right now, I don't have to go do anything. I can just say yes or no. And it's easily reversible, because that's pretty easily reversible, right? They don't think that. They're seeing this contract as this big commitment to you and to paying you a bunch of money, and they're scared of that. And so we need to just minimize that fear. We need to tell them we understand what they're thinking, but then get them to reframe them to get them to understand that it's all about what they walk away with. Timing, right? Is now the right time. It's now the right time to sell my house. I heard it's a buyer's market. I heard the interest rates peaked. I heard there was a war on tariffs. I heard there's a war in the Middle East. I heard the stock market crashed. These are all things that have happened in the last 6 months, by the way. So having a fear of timing is not something unreasonable. We can understand that fear. We can understand that logic as, should I wait? Well, the truth is no, you shouldn't wait. You shouldn't wait because right now, if you're talking to a seller, right now, prices are still higher than they've ever been in the history of home prices. Never been higher than they are today. They may have come down 0.5% over the last year, but that's nothing. You are at the very top of the market, the very top in the history of the market. So if the decision for you comes down to timing the market perfectly, you'll never be able to time the market perfectly. Not on purpose anyways. But I will say to the sellers, right now is a good time to sell because you can get the most amount of money in the history of real estate. It's all about how we price it and how we market it. So if we could get you what you want and we could do it fast, I'd say sell it now, right? And then that kind of goes hand in hand, obviously, with the market itself. Same thing. Now, the other one I heard, and this one's common, is we're interviewing agents. When they say they're interviewing agents, what do we think that really... I mean, that's not something unreasonable, right? Are you mad at them for interviewing agents? Be honest. We all wish they would only interview us. But it's common, right? And it's okay, and it's understandable that they interview multiple agents because they want to see, what is this person going to do compared to this person or this person? It's a smart thing to do. And you should tell them that. Hey, that's a smart thing to do. I respect that. Let me ask you, what's the most important thing to you? What's the most important thing to you? Okay, well, we do that. And here's how we do it. And if they still want to interview agents, that's okay. It's up to you to follow up relentlessly. Right? Following up relentlessly is going to win you 90% of your deals. Very few of your deals will come from the first listing appointment, like probably less than 5%. The list price is the other biggest thing that we see, is them not agreeing with you on the list price. That is extremely common. That's why you bring the CMA, but even then, they will still object. I will say this, the sellers who list with us now that trust us on our pricing strategy sell fast. The ones who think their house is worth more than what we say, it usually sits for a long time, and actually would sell for less than what we originally value it at, what we originally tell them to list at. And the reason is, and this is what I say to them, the reason is because when you look at a property that's been sitting on the market for a long time, that's dropped the price a bunch of times, what do you think of that property? There's something wrong with it, right? Every time you go, oh, there must be something wrong with it. Right, and it's not that there's something wrong with your house other than the price. We listed it too high. Look, I tell them this, I say, I have houses that I'm selling myself. I have houses that I flip. I understand wanting to price it high to squeeze every dollar you can out of it. And to some extent, we're going to do that. We're going to list it as high as we can that will still get you multiple offers, because that's what you would rather have, right? You would rather be in a situation where the buyers are chasing you rather than you're dropping the price and chasing the buyers. Am I correct in saying that? And then they're going to say yes. I say, great. So now do you understand why pricing is so important? You say yes. And you say, great. I understand you need to walk away with this amount of money. I think we can get you really close to that. Here's what we could list at to make that happen. Here's the pricing strategy. And then give them the strategy. So you guys are going to have objections when you talk to sellers. I mean, even when you think it's a layup, you're going to have an objection. And the truth is, you're going to be competing with other agents. And sometimes you may have to drop your price a little bit. You may have to get competitive. You may have to come down to 2.5% or 2.25%. So don't be afraid to negotiate and drop that listing commission a little bit, but also don't negotiate against yourself. I see this happen a lot. People will negotiate against themselves. The seller's not even asking. And they go, hey, I'll do it for 1.75%. Because they're just not, they need the business so bad. They're so eager for the business, as you should be, especially if it's like your first couple of deals. But you got to stay cool and don't negotiate against yourself, but still be willing to be flexible. So get out there, go on your 2 to 7 appointments a week. This is priority. Top priority for every single one of you. You all raised your hand and said more than 2. So you need to be going on more than 2. When I talk to you next week, I expect some stories, some new listings, or at least some hot leads from this next week from all of you. Going on appointments, using the marketing slides, handling the objections, and then following up relentlessly. You need to be all over these people. Relentlessly following up every day, every other day. Calling them, texting them, emailing them, following them on social media, stopping by their house, bringing them donuts. Like, be a stalker, okay? You got to be all over them. You guys will do business if you just do these things. Just go on the appointments and focus on the presentation. Any questions? Cool. Thank you guys for coming today. We're going to go to a new construction community right after this. You sent the address to everybody? Sweet. We're going to go out to Cross Prairie over there by St. Cloud Turnpike. Been there a few times. It's one of the most exciting neighborhoods in St. Cloud. They confirmed it. They're building a giant man-made lagoon there. There's going to be a Bass Pro. There's going to be a Target.